Jai Char Baja Ki. Well, that's a greeting in Rajasthan, and I'm a Rathod, so in my family the greeting is Jai Char Baja Ki. Well, good morning everybody. Today we have left from Jaipur on a very exciting trip. Our final destination today is going to be a village near Bhilwara, but the Kos Minar we just saw on the main highway 48. When you're moving from Jaipur towards Ajmer, you will find this Kos Minar about 7 kilometers short of Mokhampura. And if you Google it, it will show you two Kos Minars. One is off the road, so you can't actually visit that because it's about 100 meters off the road highway. And this one, particular one, is it's right in the center of the highway. Just 7 kilometers short of Mokhampura. So when you see it, I would like to share the history behind it. I'm sure most of you know about it, but well, the Kos Mainars go back to 16th century. We had a ruler. India had a ruler called Sher Shah Sur, who was actually a Pashtun, and very dynamic man. His contribution to India's economy since then is outstanding because he's the guy who built the national highway. We now call it Grand Trunk Road, and on India's map it is still there as NH1, and aptly so because it was the first highway ever built in India during Sher Shah Sur's period. Well, when Sher Shah Sur built it, it is actually from Lahore all the way crossing entire India, and in those days Bangladesh was part of India, and so it went all the way up to a place called Chittagong in Bangladesh, in today's Bangladesh. So that thing. But what does Kos Minar is there for? And so Kos Minar is actually what we call today milestone. In those days, the unit was kos, which is a word derived from Sanskrit language. In Sanskrit, it is called kros. So one kos is equal to 3.26 kilometers, and so you will find the first Kos Minar is the distance between the two Kos Minars on Jaipur Ajmer highway. The distance between the two is 3.26 kilometers. Well, these Kos Mainars, if I remember correct, there were about 600 of these minarets, all the way from all over from 1978 is my first memory of looking at this Kos Minar. And there used to be about 6 Kos Mainars between Jaipur and Agra, which I've seen. I'm sure there were more, but with urbanization and building national highways and not caring about our history, architectural history, many got destroyed. If you've ever visited Fatehpur Sikri, you will find one minar there as well. Minar is actually a Urdu word, but you will see a very peculiar one, which has hooks outside it. Peter Mundy, the British historian, he was also in about the year 1535. He was traveling from Agra to Fatehpur Sikri, and he writes it in his travelogue that he saw this minaret. The name of the one at Fatehpur Sikri is called Hiran Minar. Well, because if you look at the exterior of this minar, there are spikes, on the entire minaret. The spikes, as Peter Mundy writes, that if there was any criminal who was involved in a very serious crime, they were beheaded and their heads were stuck on Hiran Minar. So that was the fashion, but mostly these minarets were used as milestones. Well, that's the history of Kos Minar, and the other thing which I now remember, wherever these Kos Minars were, you will find that very close to it, there used to be, there is a word in Rajasthani called Tibari. So with 3 arches. And there used to be 2 rooms. At each station, with each minaret, there was a station where horsemen and people who had drums, they used to live there, because in those days that was the courier service and messenger service, because there was no telephones or whatever what we have now. But these people used to, so the people with the drums would play a peculiar and a particular coded note on the drum, and that would travel. When the next one hears, he will play the same note. So that's how the communication, and each note was a code which meant something. So that's how the messages were sent. The other thing was, if there was a written message or a court order by the emperor or somebody very important or king, then these horsemen would carry the message, sealed message, and from one place to another. And the other Tibari, maybe the horses were going at a faster rate and covering a distance of about 20 kilometers or so. So this is the interesting fact, and only now I see only 1 or 2 Tibari left, and if I notice again, I will definitely share a picture of that. But there were many, and I'm sure that the last year when I was driving from Jaipur to Agra, I noticed that it was there, and it is right next to the Kos Minar. When we go into that direction, we will definitely show you that too. But today's journey, we are going to Bhilwara. Bhilwara district, there is a small village. Kya naam hai? Amir?
Bemali.
Bemali. Bemali is the village where we are going to meet my friend, Mr. Virendra Singh Chundawat. Virendra Pratap Singh Chundawat. And he's a wonderful man. He loves history. He has invited us to his village Bemari, where he's going to introduce us to a great historian, and his contribution to history of India, in particular of Mewar, is outstanding. His name is Shri Narayan Upadhyay ji, and he's been awarded, and he's dedicated his life to history of India, in particular Mewar. So my curiosity about Maharana Kumbha is actually taking me there, and it's a great opportunity for me that I will be able to interview this great historian of our times. These historians, how they make it special, because they know the stories which are written in some books, but these are very old books and not in publication anymore. There are no reprints available. So that is our motive, and from there, after we are done with it, we will going to visit a fort, and because that belongs to a client, and we are going to look at the situation, and then we will see if we can restore it. If business-wise, future business-wise, if it looks good, then we will convert it to a hotel, because the Mehran Projects, which is a subsidiary of the Indian Bucket List, also does restoration of old buildings with the original materials. Then we do the interiors, and then we place it in the market. And the idea is to showcase and expand the bucket list. So this is very, very important job. So we are going to look at a fort which needs restoration, and we'll see if it can be a viable business for the owners. After that, we are again going to visit another fort, which is in a small village called Qatar, and not many people have been there, but we will be going there just to see. And it's been done, it's been kept very nicely. After that, from there, we will go to a beautiful little boutique property, because they are going to host us, and they've invited us to stay there. It's a very small boutique property in a place called Vijaynagar, and it's an orchard retreat. Good old name is Bagh. So this place is called Bijay Niwas Palace. It's in Bijaynagar, which is very close to Ajmer. Distances are not much, but we'll definitely share that place with you as well. So that's the plan, and then we go to Ajmer, and from Ajmer we'll be returning back to Jaipur on 14th, 15th. I've not decided yet, because if something comes up, so that we can increase the bucket list. And thank you guys, thank you for supporting us. This is really wonderful. We are about to touch 5,000 mark, and I really want to thank each one of you who has supported the Indian bucket list. Jai Jai Matrabhumi.